Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
The number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free GunDealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Hey, I'm so glad you're here. I'm having a ball. My name is Tom Gresham, and the show is called Gun Talk because that's what we do. By the way, we have 4 new episodes of First Person Defender up. They're on YouTube, Facebook, the Gun Talk website, guntalk.com, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Also throwing up new videos all the time. Be sure to check those out. Follow us, like us on Facebook. You will get the notifications of the live videos we're doing on Facebook, which are really fun. We did one, was it last week, from Puerto Rico, where Ryan and KJ were down there hunting iguanas with air guns. Holy smoke, that looked like a bunch of fun. Hey, before we get to our guest here, I want to get Josh in here. He's on 3 out of California. Interesting question about concealed carry across state lines. Josh, what are you doing here?
Hey, what's going on? I had a couple questions. Maybe you can answer them with one answer. But basically, I am from Nebraska. I moved to California temporarily. Well, not really moved. I'm moving to sick mother-in-law. Anyways, I am coming back to Nebraska, but I do have a concealed carry in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. Now, if it takes a federal background check in every single state to get a concealed carry, why does each state have its different rules? And my second question is, do they make, or why don't they make, something that, every single state recognizes that you can apply for, like how you were talking about for the truck drivers? That'd be great. As long as they carry something 10 rounds or less, because that's basically about what every state, is the maximum, give or take, is what they want, 10 to 15, give or take rounds. If they make like a 10-round permit per weapon,
okay, you're in and up in the weeds here, Josh. You've gone. Hold on a second here. You've gone into the weeds. Yeah. Yes, different states have different regs. Yes, we do a federal background check to purchase guns, and most states are doing a federal background check when you get your carry permit. Yes, your permit should be good in all states. We're working on that. It's called reciprocity, working on that. Now, when you get into the weeds on, if you go into certain states like California, maybe you're limited to 10 rounds. That is where it becomes your responsibility as a responsible gun owner to know what the laws are as you go into each state. It's not easy, but it's what we're saddled with right now. We're working on it. And I would encourage everybody who says, well, you guys ought to work on that. Where's the NRA on that? I would just say, where are you? Are you part of the solution? What are you doing? Have you donated any money to Cal Guns Foundation? Have you helped anywhere? Be a part of the solution. Otherwise, you're part of the problem. Appreciate the call, sir. One of my favorite guests here, just quite simply, is Johnny Dory from Dory's Guns. They've got gunsmithing. They sell used guns. They sell new guns, and they got the coolest stuff there. Johnny, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, Tom. We're just very lucky that we skated and San Antonio skated the big problems of the hurricane. So we're thanking God for that.
I was just going to ask you about that. That kind of just slid just barely east of you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, just east of us, and just kind of went up to the north. I feel so much for the people in Houston. I heard just a minute ago that Houston, by the time this is over, could have over 50 inches of rain, and we're just praying for those people there.
Speaking of which, I was just talking about that. I said, because we have experience with Katrina down New Orleans, and a lot of the guns there, when places flooded, people could not get into their place for weeks, sometimes even a month. Mm-hmm. And a gun in those conditions is pretty well toast. But if your place flooded and you can get back in a day or two and your guns have been underwater, you can salvage those, can't you, by getting them out, breaking them down, and treating them?
Oh, yeah, sure you can. The first thing you do is just pour WD-40 or spray WD-40 on them. It's not necessarily the best for using all the time with it, but it'll displace that water until you can get it into a gunsmith and let them deal with it.
That's a great point, because that's what WD is, water displacement.
Right.
WD-40, get it in there, and it'll go into every nook and cranny where you don't even know there's water down and moisture down in there. And boy, rust is like the ugliest thing in the world on a gun.
Oh, it is. And, it's not so bad on your shotgun barrels because you don't have to deal with the rifling in there. But any of the rifles, you just need to make sure, just squirt that WD-40 down there and then get it into a good gunsmith to let them go through and take care of.
Good. And speaking of gunsmiths, just the other day, we were doing the show, and somebody was having trouble finding a local gunsmith, and I said, look, call Dory's Guns. They got gunsmiths there. I didn't even check with you. I hope it was okay. I mean, do you guys do gunsmithing on guns that people don't bring in? They can ship them to you?
Oh, for sure they can ship them to us. I've got a customer in Louisiana that we do all of his gunsmith and stuff, and we have several of them across the country that won't let anybody else touch them but us. But any general gunsmithing thing or anything that's difficult, for sure you can send them to us. And the nice thing about being able to send guns to us is we don't have to send them back through an FFL. If a gun is shipped to any FFL in the country for repair, we can ship it right back to their house or their place of business.
Oh, nice. For those who don't know, check out, go online, Dory's Guns, DURYS, Dory'sGuns.com. Now, Johnny, I've been following you on Facebook. You are spending a lot of time out with the family fishing and shooting and getting ready for the hunting season now. Yeah,
we have. My mom took my little brother and my boys on a trip to Africa this summer. So we've been having a ball and just had a wonderful hunt with her. And so now we're getting geared up for dove season. That starts this Friday. I don't know.
Now, you're not going to have any doves after that hurricane, man.
Yeah, we're not. It's so wet and green. If we did have one, the bird dogs would not be able to find them in this tall green grass.
And you get a story, and I don't know what it is. Johnny's in Texas. I live in Louisiana. It seems like it's always like the week before or a couple days before the opening of dove season, we get a hurricane or a massive storm comes in and then blows them to central Mexico or something. There's just no birds left. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. Well, it makes all of the grain sprout, so there's nothing for them to eat, and then all of the water puddles everywhere. They don't have to concentrate coming into a pond, and
sure.
So it really does disperse the birds.
It's pretty crazy. Johnny, I'll tell you what, I want to talk some more with you. I'm going to take an early break here so we have a little time on the backside. That okay?
Okay. Sure.
All right, we'll do that. We're going to take a quick break here. If you got a question about gunsmithing, about parts, about used guns, how to find out what your used gun is worth, now's the time. You'll never have a nicer guy or more knowledgeable guy to talk with than Johnny Dory. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun.
Responsible owners control access to their firearms, even when they may need them in a hurry. Liberty Safe, the nation's leader in gun safes, offers 6 models of handgun vaults. Strong, simple to use, open with a key or fingerprint. Put your handgun in the compact vault, lock it away until you need it. Then it's in your hand almost instantly. Pick the Liberty Safe handgun vault that's right for you. LibertySafeHD.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Built to perform in the harshest conditions, the Ruger American pistol can take it all, from ice to dust and everything in between. The Ruger American pistol features a short take-up trigger, Novak sights, and a recoil-reducing barrel cam with low mass slide for reduced felt recoil. Plus, a modular grip system with 3 sizes to fit almost any hand. Check it out at Ruger.com. The Ruger American pistol, because anything else would be un-American.
Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
Johnny, you're probably known as much as anything about your incredible selection of used guns, and you're always buying guns and then selling guns. I know that's an important part of it. What's the market these days? What's going on with the used gun market?
Well, the used gun market is still really strong, Tom. The new gun market has been soft, but we've really seen it come through with the used guns, and we've been very fortunate, bought some big collections from some people across the country. And, the used gun market, they always sell. One of the hardest things is just getting enough of them to keep up with that demand. But we've been very fortunate, and it's helped pull us through the slow times of the summer. And, we're just really lucky to get a bunch of people trusting us to handle their used guns.
I'm just on your website now, dorysguns.com. All I did was just clicked on the revolver thing, and I'm thinking, well, you're going to have, a dozen revolvers. You got an incredible number of, and I'm talking about used guns here, all manner, all brands, all calibers, crazy stuff. I mean, and everything from, fairly inexpensive to here's a $12,000 revolver. My heavens, you got everything.
Yeah, we've been very lucky that we've had some celebrities. I'm pretty sure that $12,000 revolver. We've been fortunate enough. That's Hank Williams Jr.'s gun, and Hank owns a couple of gun shops across the country. But he sends a lot of his Old West guns to us, and then just some of his real rare guns to us. So, we've been very fortunate in getting a bunch of his guns out of his collection. He's thinning down some.
You're the most low-key, self-deprecating guy I know. We've been very fortunate. You're not very fortunate. It's just that for several generations, you've been taking care of people and doing the right thing, and it pays off. It's that good old boy Texas thing of yours going, yeah, we're just kind of lucky here. No, you're just doing a fabulous job. That's why people trust you, Johnny.
Well, that's just the way that we were. The first day that I started at the store, my dad said I built my business and reputation on my word, and he said, when your word's no good, you're no good to me anymore. So that's the way it started, and we just don't know any other way of it. We're just gonna treat the people right and pay them a fair price for their guns, and it's just really that simple.
Hey, I got a guy that's called in. He's got a question for you. I want to get Oliver in here out of Palm Springs, California. Hey, Oliver, can you hear me okay?
You there?
Oliver, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
Okay, you're on the phone with Johnny Dory. You got a question for him?
Yeah, my question is I have Winchester ammunition. It's over 20 years old. It's 150 grain lead ammo. I guess I've got a brass case. A few of the cartridges are hollow point, and I just want to know if the ammunition is still good. The brass looks excellent. There's a little bit of modeling on it, a little discoloration, but other than that, I just, that was my question if it's still good.
Well, that's a hard one for me to know without knowing in what conditions it was stored in, but generally ammunition stored in good, dry places is good for 30 to 40 years. You really won't ever see one go and go to blow up a gun. You may have it be a misfire or a low power, and if you hear anything different, make sure you check that barrel before you'd ever shoot another one behind it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, Oliver, how's it been stored? Has it been inside, inside the home? I guess we lost Oliver. Okay, we'll let him go there. That's the whole thing, Johnny, is it's really, if it's been stored in high humidity and high heat, that really makes ammo age a lot faster.
Yeah, it sure does. But it really never makes it dangerous from anything we've ever seen besides, it's not going to overpower a load. It just may cause a misfire. It may cause one of those ones that just sticks the bullet in the barrel. So anytime you have one of those that makes any different sound, you need to make sure you check the barrel and everything before you shoot another one in there. And if it does that on one, it's probably time just to dispose of the other ammo in that box.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So you also sell new guns. I'm looking at your site.
Sure.
You got, looks like some STI limited stuff going on here. You got the new Blaser F-16. What's going on there? What are people talking about? What are people looking for?
We're you're going into hunting season is what the dove season. You're starting to see the people start asking a bunch of questions about what shotguns are out there and something new. Most everybody has a dove hunting gun, but they're just looking for something new and fun. And so the Benelli Ethos has been really good for us. Their 28 gauge gun is just outstanding and just nice, light, and fun. We've done really well with Blaser's F-16 for the guy that wants a top-end gun and he doesn't want to step up into the $10,000, $12,000 stuff. That gun is as good as anything out there. We've also done really well with Cesar Guarini's guns. The nice thing about them, you can buy one of their guns, buy a 20 gauge gun now, and if you want to add 28 and 410 barrels to it later, you can always do that. So that's a nice option for somebody that can start in a gun and want to add barrels later to it. One of the few guns that we can actually do that to.
Yeah, for those that don't know, most over and unders up until that point, you had to have barrels hand fitted to your action, so you couldn't just run out and buy another set of barrels.
That's right, and we talked about that Blaser F-16. That's how they kept the price down on that gun. It's just every bit as good as the F-3 gun that they make. They just make it where those barrels are fitted to that action, and they don't have to go through that big expense of making them where they fit every barrel out there.
Right. Okay. Class 3, is it still hot?
Class 3 is still hot. We really thought we would see a downturn in it with the thought of them easing up on that law. But actually, we didn't have any real slowdowns with that. We told everybody, hey, just buy it now. And if the law does pass, they're going to refund the $200 tax stamp. So there's really no reason to wait on there. At least you're in line with it in case it doesn't pass. Right.
We're talking about the when you get the suppressor, go ahead and get it now. Don't wait for the Hearing Protection Act to pass. You get your money back if it passes, and if it doesn't, you get your suppressor, and if it does, you're still way out there in line. So a good way to go there.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it is, and we really thought it was going to be a slowdown with it, but it wasn't. It kind of made people buy more of them just so they could have everything that they wanted when that thing passed, or if it didn't, they would all be in line for it.
All right, let me ask you one more thing. You still looking for used guns?
Always looking for used guns, Tom. We're looking for anything out there in used guns. If you have some of the guns, if you have a 10, 15, 20 guns that you want to get rid of anywhere in the country, we'll send boxes and packing material and return labels to have you send those guns in, or if you have big collections, we'll travel right to you and come look at them anywhere in the country.
And I like the way you do it. You say, look, this is what we're going to have to sell it for, and then you can get, if I remember right, it's 20% off on consignment or 30% off, and we'll just write you a check right now. Done deal.
That's exactly right. Yeah, if it's a retail gun that'll bring $1,000 on the shelf, we'll pay $700 for it. We'll take 30% off of it, and if you got time to wait with it and want to take the chance on it selling there pretty quick, you can put it on consignment, and we'll do it on a 20% fee on that. And that fee goes up to guns that are $5,000, and then it gets less than that on guns that are over $5,000.
Oh, okay.
It goes into the 10 and 15% depending on how much the guns are. So as they get more expensive, our commissions get less on them.
Hey, I got another call for you here. Robert calling out of Sibley, Louisiana. I love this because I recognize this name. Hey, Robert, you're on the air.
Thank you, sir. I got a shotgun, a 16-gauge pump with an adjustable choke on it, I'm not sure if it's made by Springfield or Savage. I think it's got both of them wrote on the barrel, but it's a Western field. It's made for Montgomery Wards. I was told there wasn't but 6 of them made.
Well, I haven't heard that on 6 of them made on it.
I think there was like
they made a bunch of.
I was going to say 60,000 maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Unless it had some prototype serial number or something on there, they made thousands and thousands of those Springfield guns for Montgomery Wards. Unless that one just happened to be something special, I wouldn't think that gun would be real rare, especially with that choke on the end of it.
Right. That's Montgomery Wards. They private label those as Western Field, but yeah, they're made by Springfield and sometimes by other folks. Robert, is there something special about that gun that makes it rare?
Well, the only thing special for me, I'm a ham radio operator, and one of my buddies that passed away, he sold me that shotgun for $100 before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the only thing special about it.
Well, that's great. Look, I appreciate the call. Thank you, sir. Johnny, that's one of the things about guns, isn't it? It doesn't have to be worth a lot of money to be valuable to us.
No, that's right. There's so many guns that we work on in the gunsmithing department that to a regular person, they would say that it wasn't worth spending the money on, but then you get the sentimental value and make that gun back to what you want it to be and keep those memories for a lifetime on it.
It's exactly it. All right, I just want to encourage people to go to your website, durysguns.com. Great people. I love working with you guys. I never hesitate of recommending you for gunsmithing, for selling used guns, anything else. And when people have questions, you got people there who can answer them for them, too.
We sure do. We have 32 employees that work for us, Tom, and any of those people be glad to help you. And if they can't, they'll send you to somebody that can within our organization.
Fair enough. Johnny Dory, Dory's Guns, thank you so much. You take care, my friend.
Thanks a bunch, Tom. Bye-bye.
All righty. durysguns.com. That is a quality outfit, quality people there. And I'm glad they're safe. Think about all you guys down in Houston. Hey, if you're in that area, let me know what you're doing to prepare for all this. 866-TALK-GUN.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you. Tom Gresham. It is Gun Talk. Basically, we are going to be open lines for this segment of the show. If there's something you want to yak about or want to weigh in on, if you will, or take me to task on, that's fine. We can talk about it. You don't have to agree with me. All we're going to do is have an interesting, and we will have a civil conversation. All you have to do is give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, or talk. It's actually easier, I think. Tom Talk Gun, an easier way for you to call in. This is interesting. Justice Department terminates and repudiates Operation Choke Point. You remember Operation Choke Point? You may not. It was a program from the U.S. Justice Department and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC. It sought to deter banks from conducting businesses with companies that engaged in commerce with what the Obama administration viewed as undesirable. Undesirable. What would that be? It says, they called it, they categorized these businesses as being associated with high-risk activity. It's a kind of a banking guidance thing. So some of the types of businesses targeted by this operation, yeah, you can see it coming, can't you? Illegal or fraudulent activity like online gambling and Ponzi schemes. However, Operation Choke Point also sought to choke off the financial funds, shut down the businesses of those in tobacco sales, coin dealers, ammunition sales, and firearms sales. And this is how it happens. This is how it worked. You would be a company like old Macmillan. We had Macmillan on the show talk about this. And all of a sudden your bank says, you know what? We can't do business with you anymore. You could have been in business with the same bank for 20 or 30 years, but the FDIC and the Justice Department is telling banks, yeah, you know what? If you're doing business, if you have accounts with gun companies or people who make and sell ammunition, we're probably going to have to send the bank examiners in, and it may take weeks or months for us to do the audit on you. Yeah, it's a good old mafia-style intimidation extortion deal. And so the bank would simply call the gun company or the gun store and say, you know what, we're closing out your account. You need to come take care of this because we can't do business with you anymore. And let me tell you, if you're a business that cannot get financial services, you're a business that's out of business. I mean, it really is as simple as that. So the Justice Department has come out and said, we're not doing that anymore. Furthermore, we are, as they say, repudiating it. Let's see. I love this quote. Operation Choke Point was, according to them, a misguided initiative conducted during the last administration. This would be the assistant. Let me make sure I get this title right. Assistant Attorney General Stephen E. Boyd. He continues, he says, the department is committed to bringing enforcement action only where warranted by the facts and the applicable law without regard to political preference. We reiterate that the department will not discourage the provision of financial services to lawful industries, including businesses engaged in firearms-related activities. Pretty cool stuff. Very good. I'm glad they got that worked out. Tell you what, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, I want to give you some news about something that just broke in terms of concealed carry. And sometimes the agencies involved want to raise the rates, raise the price of concealed carry. In Utah, they just got that shut down. We'll be right back. 866-TALK-GUN.
Double Tap Ammunition, loaded with quality components, hand-inspected, and made in the U.S., offering 481 loads in 82 calibers. Find your next shot at DoubleTapAmmo.net. DoubleTapAmmo.net. If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. Shopguntalk.com.
The Springfield Armory SOCOM 16 CQB is a serious package of .308 firepower with a long military background. 10 inches shorter than the standard M1A with the standard 10-round or the optional 20-round magazine. It's a thunderous close-quarters battle rifle that stops, fights, fast. Ghost ring rear and tritium front sights with a 5-position adjustable cheek piece. The SOCOM 16 CQB is ready for anything. Springfield-Armory.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Cold Defense Ammunition, manufactured by Double Tap. Real defense ammo, designed with maximum effectiveness in mind. Have confidence in the performance of your defensive ammunition with Cold Defense by Double Tap. Available at your local retailer today.
You know, a lot of us just flat resent having to get a carry permit at all. Okay, I'm one of those. And then what happens is sometimes the fees associated with getting your permit are just pretty darn high. Some places you'll pay $100 for the class, $100 or more for the fee, et cetera, a fee for licensing, or for the fingerprinting, a fee for photographs. It gets to be a bit much, and so you got to watch these agencies because they will slide in there sometimes to try to raise the prices on you. A friend of ours just ran into that and did something about it. Clark Kaposhian joins us right now out of Utah. Hey, Clark.
Hey, Tom, thanks. I'm glad we finally got together on this thing.
You bet. So tell me what happened here.
All right. Well, the Bureau of Criminal Identification, we'll call them BCI for Utah, gave me a call in May. And so I'm the lobbyist here, the gun lobbyist with the Utah Shooting Sports Council. And as a courtesy call, they said, hey, we're going to raise the fees by $20. Well, what that represents is an 80% increase because the fee is $25 with a $12 pass-through to the FBI for a total in-state $37. But it represents an 80% increase.
Okay.
And I said, really? Knowing that I had just been up at the legislature and no talk, there was no talk of this. And they said, well, we found a statute from 2 years ago that gives us the authority to charge an extra $20 for fingerprint processing. Mm-hmm. I said, well, that's interesting. I said, and they referenced the statute. So I got looking, and I thanked them for the call, and we got researching. I got NRA involved in it. Right up to the point where just this last week, we called the Bureau of Criminal Identification and Department of Public Safety before the Administrative Rules Review Committee for violating one statute and administrative rules. The way they did this, the statute, I'll just give you an idea of the temperament of it, is that they are using a statute that was designed for, it was called background check fee increases for school employees. It made no mention whatsoever of concealed carry fee increases, and without exception in Utah code, if you want to admit, apply for this kind of a fee, any entity like a tow truck driver or a school teacher or whatever, it is mentioned in those codifying codes exactly this other section. Anyway, then they had the guts to say that if they didn't get this, and they've been under a deficiency, they say, since 2012. That the taxpayers were supplementing the concealed carry permit program. So we got researching. Well, we found out there's an $800,000 surplus in our dedicated credits. In addition, we've asked them. They're no strangers to the legislature, nor to the governor's office or anywhere. I mean, they're up there more than I am.
Right.
And at no point have they ever asked for a fee increase. In fact, we decreased the fees 3 years ago. And they said it was okay.
Let me see if I got that. So they just unilaterally said, we're going to raise the fees. There's nothing in the law that allows them to do it. We're just going to do it. And only because, they mentioned it to you and you said, no, I don't think so. And then you went to the legislature and basically called these guys on the carpet. So what's the end game in this? How did this thing end up?
Well, the end game is the administrative rules has control over all of their administrative rules. They can wipe every single one of their administrative rules off the books if they wanted to.
The legislature
can. Especially that administrative rules committee. It's a very powerful committee, and they hammered this agency. So, unfortunately, there was one very liberal member of the rules committee that decided to leave just before the vote, denying them a quorum. So we didn't have a finding. But it'll happen next week or next month.
And you've been around long enough to know this wasn't happenstance. This person left denying them a quorum to make sure that didn't happen, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
But you know what, Clark?
This is the same guy that says that we're subsidizing.
This points out the need to have a really good state organization that is watching this kind of stuff all the time, and not just what's happening in the legislature, but also what's happening in agencies, because agencies have the ability to do things like this, or maybe go in and say, well, we're going to restrict gun rights on certain parcels of land, even though it's not really allowed. They just do it because they're an agency and get away with it until your good state gun owner organization catches it and calls them on the carpet on it.
Exactly. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't catch it until we see a sign up on a fence denying access into that area.
Exactly. Well, good for you guys. I just think it is great.
Yeah, one thing I've got to point out before I go real quick is that it's not about the fee. It's not about the money. It's about the process in this case. It's about, you and I, we have to abide by every law out there or we get dinged for it.
Right.
And this is an example of an entity not thinking they can abide by the law and charge everybody else more. So it's not the money, it's the process.
Exactly. Clark, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, man, what a thing out there. Tell you what, we are going to see if we get a call. Tell Michelle to be alert. The phone may be ringing in just a moment with our last-minute caller and guest maybe showing up here in just a second. Mr. Iguana Hunter himself. We're going to see if we can round him up. We got him. Okay. Let's put him up right now. My son and partner in crime on Gun Venture, Guns and Gear, and all the other things we do. Ryan Gresham joins me right now, fresh from Puerto Rico and Iguana Land. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
Okay, so tell them the short story about iguanas in Puerto Rico. Why is the first question, of course.
Well, we were actually looking for a project, something interesting to do with Pyramid air guns. Mm-hmm. We said, what is something different we could do? They have these really high-power PCP, pre-charged pneumatic air rifles that you can actually do hunting with. And we looked around and said, what's interesting you can hunt with air guns? And we found Puerto Rico has iguanas.
So, and the farmers, they want you to shoot them because I guess they're preying or eating all of their crops.
Yeah, a lot of people say, well, wait a minute, why iguanas? That's weird. Well, Puerto Rico obviously is a small island. They have nearly 6 million iguanas on this island. They're totally an invasive species, and they eat crops. They dig tunnels. They kind of burrow and dig tunnels under roads, and even the airport at the runway, they damage stuff. They have to shoot iguanas off the runway.
All right. So, how many iguanas were you guys able to get?
In about 2 days, we probably shot about 100 iguanas.
Oh, and how big are these bad boys?
Well, they range, but they can get up past 5 and even 6 feet long.
And you're shooting them with air guns?
With air guns. I mean, the guns we were using, one was a 22 caliber pellet gun, and the other one was a 25 caliber pellet gun. And I have to say, I haven't done much hunting with air guns, but we were really impressed with how powerful and how accurate these guns are.
Son of a gun. All right, longest shot. Give me an idea.
Well, most of the shots were probably in 20 to 40 yards, but I actually had one out on a tree where we could see, and they're hard to see, so it's actually hard to have a long shot. But he was on a bare tree that was obviously, he was dead, and I was hitting him at about 90 yards.
90 yards with an air gun. And an iguana is not a big target.
No, not a big target. In fact, really to bring them down out of the tree, you probably have a spot about the size of a quarter that you have to hit.
Holy smoke. That is amazing. And this is going to be on an upcoming Gun Venture show, right, on Sportsman Channel?
Correct. It'll be, just look for it on Sportsman Channel. Gun Venture will be a few weeks down the road here, I guess. I'm not sure on the timing, but just be looking for it, 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. Hey, Ryan, hold on a second here, because I know we've got some news we want to talk about with the GunDealio app. There's some really cool stuff going on. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're talking with Ryan Gresham from Gun Venture, Guns and Gear, and, of course, First Person Defender, which we're going to be shooting new episodes of First Person Defender in just a few weeks. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk. Most of you, probably all of you know by now, we have this very cool smartphone app called GunDealio. Been around for a couple of years now. And I say it's the best way for you to catch the podcast of Gun Talk Radio, but also a great way to find out about deals that are going on. And as is always the case with software, it's always evolving. And this thing was really a project of Ryan's, and we've got Ryan Gresham on the phone with us now. It was kind of your concept, but now we have some really cool new news, as I like to say. I like the whole idea of new news as opposed to old news.
Yeah. GunDealio, if you don't know what it is a smartphone app, free on your Android or your iOS device. And basically, with this app, we have information on there, news, which is, about new products and cool guns and gear and things like that. We have events going on in your area. And, of course, we have deals. And it's funny, when we started this about 2 years ago, we had to kind of go searching for the deals pretty hard. There are a lot of deals out there now, which we can put that on the app, but we kind of condense it all in one place and gather it up so you can see it. And then the neat part about this is you can go find stuff there, but if you allow location services and notifications, which is really the coolest part of this app,
right?
We will push messages and notifications to your phone occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally when there's a really good deal going on, or when you walk into a gun store, a lot of times you'll get a notification. That's just a reminder, hey, did you hear about if you buy this gun, you get 3 magazines for free, or there's the rebate going on right now. Just kind of a heads up as you walk in the door, which is great. Well, when we started this process, and our app developers said, look, an app is a living, breathing thing. It's not like you build it and then you're done. You're always having to improve it. You're always having to chase making sure it works correctly. And it's a challenge, but that's what they do. And so now we have a brand new version that's getting ready to launch this week coming up. Mm-hmm. And because of the timing with Apple and Google, I can't say exactly precisely the day and time because it doesn't work that way with Apple because
right.
They're Apple. They do what they want.
Sure. But what do people need to do? That's the real question.
Okay, the big deal is if you don't have GunDealio, go ahead and download it. Look for it this week and download it. If you already have GunDealio, go ahead and update it. And what you get with that update is we're going to improve the look and feel of it, easier to navigate, and you can filter through the deals now. That was a big request from the users, easier way to filter through the deals. And we did some stuff in the back end on the technology to just help everything run smoothly, make sure you're getting the deal notifications when you walk in the door, that kind of thing.
So if you want to save money on guns, ammo, and everything else, you would have this free app on your phone. Why wouldn't you, right?
Yes, that, and also we are sending just fun content. Like you said, you can also listen to the Gun Talk podcast on there. We have videos on there. We have news on there. And we'll send out saying, hey, have you seen this really cool thing that we did here? And here's the link. Click here to watch the video. Yeah,
like hunting iguanas.
Exactly, yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you letting us interrupt your Sunday and away from the family, but very cool stuff. Iguanas. Yeah, and by the way, they can look at some of the video of that on our Facebook page as well. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, go check out the Gun Talk Media Facebook page. You can see the videos, the live videos that they did from Puerto Rico. I actually have hunting videos. It is bizarre. Hey, if you have not heard it before, you need to call in right now. You can be part of the after show, 866-TALK-GUN. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you into the after show. And if you have not listened to it before, you owe it to yourself. Use the GunDealio app to listen to what we call the after show. Go out and do some shooting. Take somebody with you. Be safe, my friend.